कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. विद्यातपोवित्तवपूर्वयकुलैः सतां गुणैषड्भिरसत्तमेतरैः स्मृतौ हतायां भृतमानदुर्दृशः स्तब्धा न पश्यन्ति हि धाम भूयसाम्. गुणाधिकान् मुदं लिप्सेत् अनुक्रोशं गुणाधमात् मैत्रीं समानादन्विच्छेन् न तापैरभिभूयते. योऽन्तप्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्ताम् सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. भक्तिं मुहुः प्रवहतां त्वयि मे प्रसङ्गो भूयादनन्तमहताममलाशयानां येनाञ्जसोल्बणमुरुव्यसनं भवाब्धिं नेष्ये भवद्गुणकथामृतपानमत्तः. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let us continue our study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Text 20. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.20. Shri Sati Devi is addressing her father, Prajapati Daksha. कर्म प्रवृत्तं च निवृत्तमप्रितं वेदे विविच्योभयलिङ्गमाश्रितम् विरोधि तद् यौगपदैककर्तरि द्वयं तथा ब्रह्मणि कर्म नर्चति. Translations and purports by our revered founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Vedas, there are directions for two kinds of activities: pravritti and nivritti. Activities for those who are attached to material enjoyment, and activities for those who are detached from material enjoyment. So, dear devotees, in our Vedic scriptures, there are two pathways that lead to Shri Krishna. There is the Pravritti Marg and there is the Nivritti Marg. Pravritti Marg is for those who are materially attached. They are not able to renounce material things. So they are advised, okay, you get married, you take up a job, you earn money, you spend the money in a pious way according to dharma, and you can enjoy. Enjoy with your family members, enjoy in your house, and then after enjoying all that the material world has to offer in terms of enjoyment, someday you will realize that all this material enjoyment doesn't really give lasting satisfaction. This material enjoyment is not really sustainable. When that realization comes, then you turn to Krishna completely. This is one path, the Pravritti Marg. And then the second way is the Nivritti Marg. Nivritti means to give up. Nivritti means to renounce. And this is for those who are more spiritually gifted, those who have previously accumulated spiritual piety, enough piety that they don't feel attraction for material enjoyment. There are devotees like that. They never desired intoxication. They never desired sensual enjoyment with the opposite sex. They never desired meat or watching movies. These things never really attracted them. There are people like that. And they are qualified for Nivritti Marg, the path of renunciation. Otherwise, one should gradually develop Krishna consciousness instead of renouncing everything and going all out in Krishna consciousness. It is better to step by step progress. So, two paths. Pravritti means you enjoy, 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 but within the boundaries of dharma, and try to think of Krishna as much as possible. And then ultimately, you will realize that this material enjoyment is all an illusion. And then you turn to Krishna completely. And the second path is for those who don't have material desires to begin with. They can directly take to the Nivritti Marg, the path of renunciation. And they can directly take to full on Krishna consciousness. Personalities like Sripad Narad Muni, they take to the Nivritti Marg. So Sri Sati Devi is telling her father in the Vedas there are two kinds of activities: Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. The path of gradual development of Krishna consciousness for those who cannot give up material enjoyment. For them, certain rules, regulations, restrictions are created where they can engage in material enjoyment, but within the boundaries of dharma, religion. And then there is activity for those who are materially detached. Those who are detached, they are said to be on the Nivritti Marg. In consideration of these two kinds of activities, Pravritti and Nivritti, there are two kinds of people who have different symptoms. If one wants to see two kinds of activities in one person, that is contradictory. But both kinds of activities may be neglected by a person who is transcendently situated. Now, either one can be on the Pravritti Marg or one can be on the Nivritti Marg. One cannot be on both the roads. For example, if someone is going from Atlanta to New York, you ask them, how are you coming? Are you driving? Or if I have to go to Shama Keshwari Mataji Anandmay Krishna Prabhu's house in New Jersey, they ask me, how are you coming? Are you driving or are you flying? So I can either drive to New Jersey from Atlanta, taking the interstate, or I can take a flight from the airport, Atlanta airport, to the Newark airport. But if they ask me, how are you coming? I cannot say both. I'm taking the interstate from Atlanta to New Jersey also, and I'm taking an aeroplane also. You cannot do both. So either you can be on the Pravritti Marg, which is like taking a flight. It's fast. In 1.5 hours, you can reach. Or you can take the either you can do the Nivritti Marg of renunciation, which is like taking an aeroplane flight, or you can take the Pravritti Marg, where you take the road, you go slowly, you stop. You can stop in Virginia, go on a hike, stay in a motel overnight, eat in restaurants, do some sightseeing, then again stop through different states, and then stop at Washington, D.C., and then slowly, slowly you make your way to New Jersey. It's a longer way. But you can take one of the two. You cannot take a flight also, and you cannot take the roadway also. You cannot be on Pravritti Marg also and Nivritti Marg also, because both are different pathways. That's what Sri Sajidev is saying. Now, both these activities may be neglected by a person who is transcendently situated. But one who has already attained Krishna, one who has already captured Krishna in the heart, one who is already seeing Krishna, one who is already speaking with Krishna, one who is already directly engaged in personal service to Shri Krishna, one who is self realized, one who is Bhagavad Prapt, one who has already realized his eternal relationship with Krishna and is situated in that relationship at the level of prayojan, prem prayojan, then such a person neither has to take the pravritti marg nor nivritti marg. So if somebody is already at Shama Kishori Mataji's house, then you neither have to take the flight from Atlanta nor you have to get into a car from Atlanta because you're already there. So that's what Saji Devi is saying. She's giving different scenarios. Either you take a car and go by road, you take a flight, you have to take one of the two, you have to choose one of the two. And one who has already attained the destination need not take either of them. Haribol. Need not take Pravritti Marg or Nivritti Marg if one is already attained Krishna. One is already transcendentally situated. Dvayam tatha narchati. Both these paths, Pravritti, Nivritti, are neglected by one who is Brahmani. One who has already attained the supreme destination. Srila Prabhupada says, there are four social orders: Brahmacharya, student life; Grahastha, married life; Vanaprastha, retired life; and Sannyas, renounced life. These four social orders are supposed to be sequential, gradual. You start with brahmachari, be a student; grahastha, you become a householder, you take up a job, have a wife, children, take care of them, raise a family. Then you retire. When the children grow up, vanaprastha, you retire. In retirement, you cultivate more and more attraction to Shri Krishna. And then when you reach a mature stage in Krishna consciousness, you take sannyas. Typically, first 25 years are student life. You gain knowledge. Next 25 years are grahastha ashram. Then when your children reach the mid 20s, then you can retire at 50 and start taking Krishna consciousness very seriously. Retire at 50 means you start the process of retiring. You slowly, slowly reduce your work, reduce the need to earn money, and let the children take over. And you get more and more into Krishna consciousness. And then by the time you are 75, there should be no attraction for family life, for this material world. One should be completely Krishna conscious. That is how the Vedic society was designed: 25, 25, 25, 25. Average lifespan in those were 100 years. Gradually train a person to come to the platform of transcendental life, from brahmachari to sannyas. The activities and dress of a grahastha or householder are different from those of a sannyasi. Sannyasi wears the same color, the drab dress of a sannyasi. Saffron colored, same dress, same color, same types of clothes every day, 365 days a year, no change. That's the strict life of a sannyasi. Whereas a grahastha can wear different colors. It is impossible for one person to adopt both orders. One cannot be a grahastha also And one cannot be a sannyasi also. See, a sannyasi cannot act like a householder, nor can a householder act like a sannyasi. So this we should be clear. But Lord Shiva is in a transcendental position. He is always absorbed in thoughts of Lord Vasudeva. Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanani. Lord Shiva spoke this verse. He's saying, I'm always absorbed in Ram, 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 Ram. So he is Paramhamsa. He's beyond this Varnashram. He's beyond Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. He's beyond that. He's Paramhamsa. So these rules, regulations don't apply to him. He has no obligation. 21. Mava Padavya Pitar Asmad Asthita Yayadnyashala Sunadhuma Vartmabhi तदन्न तृप्तैर असुभृभिरीडिता अव्यक्तलिंगा अवधूत सेविता. Shri Sati Devi is telling her father, my dear father, the opulence we possess is impossible for either you or your flatterers, your supporters, to imagine. What she says, saying that the opulence that Lord Shiva and I enjoy at Kailash is impossible for you and your chelas, your sidekicks, your supporters. For persons who engage in fruitive activities like you, by performing great sacrifices, are concerned with satisfying their bodily necessities by eating food stuff offered as a sacrifice. We can exhibit our opulences simply by desiring to do so. This can be achieved only by great personalities who are renounced, self realized souls. So, Sati's father, Daksha, was a materialistic person. He was following the Vedas, but his desire was material sense gratification. Yesterday in Bhakti Shastri, we saw how desire is most important. What we desire. Not what we do, but what is the intention? What is the desire behind that? That is most important. Daksha apparently was performing big yajnas. Big devatas were coming in the yajna. Sometimes even Lord Vishnu would come. But he was a materialist. His intention was always material progress, material enhancement, not spiritual enhancement, not spiritual progress. Purport. Sri Sati's father was under the impression that he was exalted in both prestige and opulence, and that he had offered his daughter to a person who was not only financially poor, but devoid of all culture, because he used to put ashes on his body, wear a garland of human skull bones, etc. Daksha had a very material estimation of Lord Shiva, and in his materialistic estimation, he thought Lord Shiva was unqualified, good for nothing, failure. Hare Krishna. But his material calculations were wrong. Many times, when we see the world through our materially trained eyes, we are not able to see spiritual things as they are. We may see faults where there are none because we are looking through materially trained eyes. Therefore, my dear friends, we have to learn and train ourselves to see through the eyes of the scriptures. For example, I was talking to one devotee the other day, and he recently read the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, where there is description of Kali Yuga. And it was such a eureka moment for this devotee, because now when this devotee sees the world, he is seeing the world through the eyes of the scripture. If we look at what things are happening in Kali Yuga, that people have low moral values, people give excessive importance to hairstyle, people give excessive importance to lust, etc., one may get either depressed, one may feel, well, everybody is like this, it's a dog eat dog world, I better fit in. That's the only way I will survive. That attitude can develop. Or one can become very bitter that this society has wronged me. I hate this world. I will get back at this world. There are some people like that. Or one can see this world through the eyes of the scripture and see that, oh, all this is predicted in Srimad Bhagavatam. Thousands of years ago, this was predicted that such a time will come where people will have shorter lives. They'll have short stature. And I better become serious about Krishna consciousness. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan astiyo eka mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajit. Right there in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Shukdev Goswami tells Shri Parikshit Maharaj that yes, after describing all these bad qualities of Kali Yuga, Shri Shukdev Goswami says, yes, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. O Rajan, O King Parikshit, this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, bad qualities. Astiyo eka mahan guna, but there is one good quality of Kali Yuga. What is that? Kirtanadeva Krishna se mukta sangha param rajat. If one does Krishna Kirtan, one takes to Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna, then one will attain the supreme destination in Kali Yuga. That is a special benediction of Kali Yuga. So we can see the negativity of Kali Yuga through the lenses of Shastra, scriptures, holy scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, and actually feel enlivened amidst the chaos. Haribol. Isn't that quite counterintuitive? That you become energized amidst all the chaos. Because you see order in disorder. Yes, you see the disorder of Kali Yuga, but you see the order in it. That no, this is all arrangement of Shri Krishna. There is Satya Yuga, there is Treta Yuga, there is Dwapar Yuga, and there is Kali Yuga, and these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. Satya Yuga has its symptoms, Treta Yuga has its own symptoms, Dwapar Yuga has its own symptoms, Kali Yuga has its own symptoms. Satya Yuga has its own Yuga Dharma, Treta Yuga has its own Yuga Dharma, Dwapar Yuga has its own Yuga Dharma, and likewise Kali Yuga also has its own Yuga Dharma. Let me take up the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga and make my life perfect. Haribol. Just like different diseases, there is different medicine. For hypertension, you cannot give medicine of diabetes. And for diabetes, you cannot treat diabetes with antihypertensive medications. Similarly, in Satyayug, the treatment was meditation on Lord Vishnu. Kritaya Dhyato Vishnu. In Tretayug, it was what Lord Ramachandra performed. So many yajnas. Tretayam Yajato Makhai. Dwapare Paricharyayam. In Dwapar it was elaborate deity worship. Kalautad Hari Kirtanad, and in Kali Yuga it is Hari Kirtan. So we should learn to see this world through the eyes of the holy scriptures instead of seeing the world through our own eyes or through the eyes of material education. That will lead to confusion, frustration, a spirit of unbridled rebellion. But if we see the world through the eyes of scripture, amidst the chaos, we will see order. Amidst the chaos and suffering and setbacks and reversals and tragedies, we will see hope. We will see direction. We will see light at the end of the tunnel. Haribol. Text 22. नैतेन देहेन हरे कृतागसो देहोद्भवेनालमलं कुजन्मना व्रीडा ममाभूत् कज कुजन प्रसंगतस्तज्जन्मधिग्यो महताम अवध्यकृत. Shri Sati Devi, in a rather anguished and indignant tone, is addressing her father. O father, you are an offender at the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. And unfortunately, I have a body produced from your body. I am very much ashamed of our bodily relationship. And I condemn myself because my body is contaminated by a relationship with a person like you, who is an offender at the lotus feet of a great personality, Mahatam, a great personality like Lord Shiva. I am ashamed of you. Shama Kishore Mantri, can you read the purport?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
I just
Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. It is stated Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho. Shambho, Lord Shiva is the greatest of all devotees of Lord Vishnu. In the previous verses, Sati has described that Lord Shiva is always in a transcendental position because he is situated in pure Vasudev. Vasudev is that state from which Krishna, Vasudev, is born. So,
Vishuddha Tattva.
so Lord Shiva is the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna, and Sati's behavior is exemplary because no one should tolerate blasphemy against Lord Vishnu or his devotee.
Krodhetad, what is that? Hmm. Uh, Krodha Vaishnava Dveshi Jane. Sri Narottam Thakur says that you can use krodh, you can use anger towards Vaishnava Dveshi Jana, towards those people who are envious and inimical towards the Vaishnavas. Anger can be used. Example is Hanumanji, Sundarkand. Hanumanji was so angry at Jambumali, Akshay Kumar, and Ravan. So, like that. Sati is aggrieved not for her personal association with Lord Shiva, but because her body is related with that of Daksha, who is an offender at Lord Shiva's lotus feet. She feels herself to be condemned because of the body given by her father Daksha. This is the heart of a Vaishnava, my dear friends. When Lord Ramachandra was taking all his associates to the eternal Dwarka in Vaikuntha, and he asked Hanumanji what his desire was. Hanumanji said, "My dear Lord, this body was embraced by you. How can I give up this body? Let me stay here. As long as there is Ram Katha, Ram Nam, I will stay here." Similarly, Sati says that this body came from you, Daksha. You have offended my Ishtadev. You have offended my Pati Dev. You have offended Lord Shiva. I don't want this body. See the heart of a Vaishnava. Haribol 23. गोत्रं त्वदीयं भगवान् वृषध्वजो दाक्षायणि आह यदा सुदुर्मनाः व्यपेतनर्मस्मितमाशु तदाहं व्युत्स्रक्ष एतत् कुणपं त्वदङ्गजम्. Hare Krishna. Shri Sati Devi continues speaking. Because of our family relationship, when Lord Shiva addresses me as Dakshayani, I at once become morose. Whenever my Pati Dev, Lord Shiva, addresses me Dakshayani, come here. Dakshayani means the daughter of Daksha. I've become very sad. I become very sad because I immediately am reminded that I am the daughter of someone who is envious of my husband, Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is addressed here as Vrishadhvaja. Vrishadhvaja. The bull, Nandi, is the carrier of Lord Shiva. I at once become morose, and my jolliness and my smile, smitam means my smile, at once disappears. I feel very much sorry that my body, which is just like a bag, has been produced by you. Tvad anga jam. This body was Janma, was born from your anga, from your body. Because from the body of the father, the child is implanted into the womb of the mother, and then the body grows and takes birth. So, father also has a contribution. This body was born from you, and therefore I shall give up this body. I will not even keep this body that came from you because you are an offender to Lord Shiva. Such is the Pativrata nature of Sri Sati Devi. Therefore, Sri Sati Devi is considered to be one of the emblems of chastity to one's husband. Purport. The word Dakshayani means daughter of Daksha, like the daughter of Janaka Maharaj is Janaki. The daughter of the king of Vidarbha, Sri Rukmini Devi, is called Vaidarbhi. So similarly, Sri Sati Devi, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati, is called Dakshayani. Our Sanskrit language is so rich, so beautiful. From the name, you come to know so many things about that person, isn't it? Kamal Lochan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami when he comes to meet him in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, Sri Nilachal Dham, that very good you came, now go and take darshan of Kamala Lochan. So immediately one is reminded of the big, beautiful, blossoming lotus-like eyes of Lord Jagannath. Sometimes, when there was relaxed conversation between husband and wife, Lord Shiva used to call Sati Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha Maharaj. And because this very word reminded her about her bodily connection, family connection with King Daksha, she at once became ashamed because Daksha was an incarnation of all offenses. And this is good. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane, Srila Narottam Thakur writes in Prem Bhakti Chandrika. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. When someone is Bhakta Dveshi, someone is acting with envy or in an inimical way toward one's guru, towards one's Ishtadev, towards one's worshipable personality, like in this case, husband, Lord Shiva, then one must get angry. Jiva Goswami was angry when Sri Rupa Goswami was and Sri Sanatan Goswami were slighted by that scholar. He spent 7 days debating. He could have written so many verses. Sri Jiva Goswami was active for around 50 years or so in Vrindavan. And he wrote 500,000 verses, 500,000 verses. You can calculate how many verses. Maybe Mridula Mataji can calculate. She's good in math. In 50 years, approximately 500,000 verses in Sanskrit, Srila Jiva Goswami wrote. So, how many verses every day he was writing? Many verses. 7 days Sri Jiva Goswami gave to debate. Nothing spiritual. They were not debating Achintya Bhedabhed Tattva and Vishishtadvait Tattva. They were discussing. It was a non-devotional debate. It was a philosophical debate, but non-devotional. It was Tarkavad. It was just defeating each other in logic and argument. And Srila Jiva Goswami gave 7 days of his life, precious time, in Vrindavan to that debate, just to preserve the prestige of his Gurudev, Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami. So one should feel angry when there is envy towards one's Gurudev, towards one's Ishtadev, towards one's worshipable personality. Daksha was the embodiment of envy, for he unnecessarily blasphemed a great personality, Lord Shiva. Simply upon hearing the word Dakshayani, Sri Sati Devi felt afflicted because of reference to the context, because her body was the symbol of all the offensiveness with which Daksha was endowed. Since her body was constantly a source of unhappiness, she decided to give up her body. Hare Krishna. So, this is the speech of Sri Sati Devi to her father, Daksha Prajapati. Sri Maitreya Muni is narrating this very important story from Srimad Bhagavatam, which teaches us valuable lessons. Maitreya Uvacha, this is 24. It advare dakshamanudya shatruhan क्षितावुदीचिं निशसाद शान्तवाक् स्पृष्ट्वा जलं पीतदुकूलसंवृता निमील्य दृग्योगपथं समाविशत्. Shri Maitreya Muni tells Mahatma Vidurji, Shatruhan, O Vidur, annihilator of enemies. Now Shri Vidur is called annihilator, the killer of enemies. Even though Shatruhan he is called, killer of the Shatrus, killer of the enemies. Even though he did not participate in the Kurukshetra war or any other war. So which enemies is being referred to here? Please raise your hand. What are the Shadripus? Yes. Keshamada Prabhu.
The six vikaras, Prabhuji, that is what he is.
Yes, the Shadripu, the six enemies within. Lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, false ego. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. Vidurji had overcome them. O annihilator of enemies, Shatruhan. While thus speaking to her father, in the arena of sacrifice, you remember the sacrifice was going on. It was a very festive occasion where Sati went. Shri Sati Devi sat down on the ground and faced north. She sat down on the ground. Shitau, she sat down on Shiti, or earth, on the ground, and Udichim, she faced north. Dressed in saffron garments, Dukula, Pita. Pita Dukula. She was wearing saffron, yellowish, orange sari. She sanctified herself with water. So she did Achaman. She did Achaman. She sanctified herself and closed her eyes. Closing eyes is important for meditation so that there is no distraction. Nimilya Drik. Nimilya Drik means she closed her eyes. Drik means eyes. Nimilya means closing the eyelids. Nimilya Drik. She closed her eyes. She sat down. She purified herself with water by doing Achaman. She closed her eyes to absorb herself in the process of mystic yoga. Yoga Patham. Samavishat. Samavishat. She was absorbed in yoga. In mystic meditation, she became absorbed. Purport. It is said that when a man desires to quit his body, he dresses in saffron garments. Haribol. Because saffron color represents the color of fire. And when a person dies, the body is offered to fire. So sannyasi wears, a person in the renounced order of life wears saffron clothes, indicating I am standing with my carry-on bag at the gate, ready to board the Golok Vrindavan flight. I have no attachment to this airport, to this city, to my house somewhere in this city. I am ready to go. I have made the decision to go with a one-way ticket. So saffron cloth is an indication of social death. Srila Prabhupada uses the word social death. Saffron cloth means social death. No material attachment. I am willing to die. Fearlessness. It is said that when a man desires to quit his body, he dresses in saffron garments. Therefore, it appears that Sri Sati Devi changed her dress, indicating that she was going to quit the body given to her by Daksha. Daksha Prajapati was Sati's father. So instead of killing Daksha, she decided it would be better to destroy the part of his body which was hers. she was born from the body of Daksha. She said, I will give up this body. I don't want this body. Why she did not kill Daksha? She could have cursed and killed Daksha. We saw it in the previous class. Raise your hand if you remember. Why Shri Sati Devi did not kill Daksha. She could have killed him with a curse. Yes, Rasraj Gopal Prabhu.
Yeah, she wanted Shiva to take the credit. She did not want
Yes, she did not. It was not her job to kill. People would criticize Lord Shiva. अरे कैसा पति है, अपनी रक्षा नहीं कर पाया, इसका मान रखने के लिए पत्नी को वध करना पड़ा. So she didn't want to do that. She didn't want to overstep her boundaries. Otherwise, people will criticize Lord Shiva. And the last thing she wanted. Hari Bol. The bhakti is so sensitive. 25. कृत्वा समानावनिलोजितासना सोदानमुत्थाप्य च नाभिचक्रतः शनैर्हृदि स्थाप्य धियोरसि स्थितम् कंठाद्भ्रुवोर्मध्यमनिन्दितानयत्. Shri Maitreya Muni is describing to Mahatma Vidurji. First of all, Shri Sati Devi sat in the required sitting posture. The asana is also important. And then she carried the life air upwards and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her prana vayu, her life air, mixed with intelligence to the heart, then gradually towards the pulmonary passage, the trachea. Pulmonary passage is trachea. And from there to between her eyebrows. Between her eyebrows. And here Sati Devi is called as Anindita. Anindita means the unblemished lady, one who cannot be criticized, one who is beyond reproach. Anindita. Ninda means to criticize. Anindita means one who cannot be criticized. She's faultless. Srila Prabhupada explains the yogic process is to control the air passing within the body in different places called Shat Chakra, the 6 circles of air circulation. Shat Chakra. There are 6 chakras in the body according to Ayurveda. The air is raised from the navel to the heart, from the heart to the throat, from the throat to between the eyebrows, and from between the eyebrows to the top of the cerebrum, Brahmarandra. That is the sum and substance of practicing yoga. So, very difficult to practice in today's day and age, this type of yoga. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti Yoga is the simplest. Kirtana Deva Krishna se Mukta Sangha Paramrit. No need of taking the pranavayu like this. Just chant Hare Krishna and Teshamaham Samudharta Mrityu Samsara Sagarat. Krishna comes and takes us. We don't have to do this yogic gymnastics, Srila Prabhupada says. Prabhupada writes in the purport. The Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planet where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga systems, more than this Ashtanga Yoga. 26. Evam swadeham mahata mahiyasa muhu samaropitam ankamaadarat jihasati daksharusha manasvini dadharagatre anilagni dharanam. Thus, in order to give up her body, which had been so respectfully and affectionately seated on the lap of Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by great sages and saints, Sri Sati Devi, due to anger towards her father, began to meditate on the fiery air within the body. There is a fire element in the body. And Sri Sati Devi started meditating, focusing on the fiery element in the body. All our bodies are made up of Pancha Mahabhut. 5 elements are there in all of us. Earth element is there, which consists of all the solid organs in the body, the muscles, the bones, they're all made from earth. They're all made up of calcium and proteins and everything, which all comes from nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, all those carbohydrates. Everything comes from the earth. So there's the earth element. Then there is the water element, H2 element, blood, plasma. There is water also in our stomach and bowels. In the digestive juices, enzymes, there is water. So there is earth, water, There is fire. There is the fire of digestion, slow combustion, fast combustion. Food is digested. So there's the fire element also. Earth, water, fire, air. There is air circulating in the lungs. There is oxygen in the blood stream also flowing. So air is flowing in the blood also. All over the body, throughout the body, air is circulating. So there is earth, water, fire, air. And ether is all the sound that we are producing, the sound vibrations, the electrical impulses that are going, all these subtle things, mm, the especially the sound vibrations. That is the ether. So earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Bodies are made up of the five Pancha Mahabhut, according to our Ayurveda, Vedic science. So, in order to give up her body, and so nicely it is described here that her body was that which was very lovingly placed on the left lap. Samaropitam ankam adarat. Very respectfully, Lord Shiva used to place his dear wife Ardhangini, Sati Devi, on his left thigh. She would sit on the thigh. Lord Shiva would sit on the asan, and Sati Devi would sit on her left thigh of her husband, Lord Shiva. That's how they would sit. That beautiful body that was respectfully placed by Lord Shiva on his own left thigh, that body is now going to be destroyed. And for that purpose, Sati Devi focused on the fire element in her body. Anilagni Dharanam. She focused on the fire and air element in the body. Anila means air and Agni means fire. Anila Agni Dharanam. Dharana means to meditate. She meditated on that. Anila Agni Dharanam. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says Lord Shiva is described herein as the best of all the great souls. Many places he is described. The word Shiva itself means one who is all auspicious. Although Sati's body was born of Daksha, Lord Shiva used to adore her by seating her on his lap. This is a token of Adarat, token of respect. Because Lord Shiva considered Sati as half his body. Remember, when she decides to go or she asks, "Can I go?" Lord Shiva says, "You are my Ardhangini, you are half my body." So much love Lord Shiva had given to Sri Sati Devi. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Sri Sati Devi and Lord Shiva are eternally related. Even after she changes her body, their relationship is never broken. Because she herself came back as Parvati. Of course, it is understood that in Sati's next life, she would take birth as the daughter of the Himalayas, the daughter of Parvat. So she's called Parvati. Or in Radha Kripa Katakshaka Stotra, what is Parvati Devi called as? Who knows? Raise your hand. Devavati Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Himadvija.
Yes. Very nice. Himatrija.
Okay.
Daughter of Himalayas. Yes. Himatrija. Very good. Thank you. And then Lord Shiva would accept her again as his wife. So that same Sri Sati Devi will become Sri Parvati Devi. Text 27. Last verse for today. Tata svabhartoscharanaambujhasavam jagadguroschintayati na chaparam dadarsha deho hatakalmasha sati sadya prajajvala samadhijagnina. Shri Sati Devi concentrated all her meditation on the holy lotus feet of her husband. Swa Bhartuhu means her husband. Charana Ambuja Asavam. On the asavam, on the nectar of the lotus feet. Charana means feet. Ambuja means lotus that is born from water. Ambu means water. Ja means born. Ambuja means that which is born from water, which is lotus. Charana Ambuja, the lotus feet. Asavam. the nectar, the honey from the beautiful lotus flower like feet of Lord Shiva. She meditated on the nectar of the lotus feet of her husband, Swa Bhartu. Bhartu means husband. Swa Bhartu Charanambuja Asavam. And Lord Shiva is addressed here as Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru, the supreme spiritual master. Lord Shiva is the Sampradaya Acharya of one of the four Vaishnava Sampradayas. There is the Brahma Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, and then there is the Rudra Sampradaya. Thus, Shri Sati became completely cleansed of all taints of sin. Whatever sin might have been committed in our life, sometimes knowingly, unknowingly we commit sins. And especially the greatest sin was to disobey Lord Shiva and come to attend the Yajna festivities of her father Daksha. But Hata Kalmashaha. Kalmasha means all sins. Hata means destroyed. By meditating, Chintayati means to meditate. Chintayati Swabhartuhu Charana Ambuja Asavam Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru Lord Shiva's Charana Ambuja Asavam Chintayati. By meditating on the nectar of the lotus feet of her husband Swabhartu, Lord Shiva's lotus feet, Hata Kalmasha. All her sins were destroyed. Who knows the verse where it says that just by meditating on the or thinking of the lotus eyes of the Lord, all the sins are destroyed? Please raise your hand. Who knows the verse? Before initiation, we chant it. Yes, Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Yasmaret Pundarikaksham.
Hey, pura verse. This is too much, Mataji.
Pavitro va apavitro va sarvavastha gatopi va yasmaret pundarikaksham sa bhaya abhyantara shuchi. I may be wrong, Prabhuji.
Om अपवित्रा पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थां गतोऽपि वा यः स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष स भायावन्तर शुचि. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Very good. Mother, you got a A grade for that. Don't worry. So, all the sins were destroyed because of meditation on the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Chintayati. Here it is said, Yaha smaret pundarikaksha. One who remembers the lotus-eyed Lord. Sabhaya bantara shuchi becomes purified from within and without. So, Deha hata kalmasha. Whatever sins were performed, her body was contaminated by whatever sins, all the sins were gone. And Sadhya prajajwala. Her body burst into blazing fire just by her meditation. Samadhi ja agnina. Fire produced by samadhi. Fire produced by meditation. So this is also a very subtle science which now is practically lost. We don't know this science. How by meditation one can concentrate on the fiery element in the body and increase the fiery element in the body and set the body ablaze. Self-immolation. True self-immolation. She just gave up her body. Srila Prabhupada says, Sati at once thought of the lotus feet of her husband Lord Shiva, who is one of the three great personalities of Godhead. Yes, Lord Shiva is Godhead. Lord Shiva is a Guna avatar. There are three Guna avatars in this Brahmanda. There is Lord Brahma, who is the Guna avatar in charge of mode of passion. There is Lord Shiva, who is the Guna avatar in charge of the mode of ignorance. And there is Lord Vishnu in charge of the mode of goodness. Passion creates, goodness maintains, and ignorance, tamogun, destroys. So Lord Shiva is one of the main deities of the Holy Trinity. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And simply by meditating on Lord Shiva's lotus feet, Sri Sati Devi derived such great pleasure that she forgot everything in relationship with her body. Then Srila Prabhupada says, in this verse it is stated that Hata Kalmasha, that she became free from all contamination. What was that contamination? Srila Prabhupada is telling us the contamination was her concept of the body derived from Daksha, but she forgot that bodily relationship in trance. The purport is that when one becomes free from all bodily relationships within this material world and simply places himself in the position of an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that all the contamination of this material attachment has been burnt. What verse is this? Where we forget all designations, all relationships, and we engage ourselves in the service of Krishna and become completely purified. Yes, Radha Gopinath Prabhu. Don't say
Hare Krishna
Rishikesh
Prabhuji.
Rishikesh, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Full
Dhanavadana. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvina nirmanam rishikina rishikita sevanam bhaktir uchate.
Very nice. Hari Bol. Last paragraph. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, that Sati Devi quit her body means that she gave up within her heart her relationship with Daksha. Hari Bol. She gave up her relationship with Daksha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also comments that since Sati Devi is the superintendent deity of the external potency, the material world, Durga, external potency, when she quit her body, she did not get a spiritual body, but simply transferred from the body she had received from Daksha. Other commentators also say that she immediately transferred herself into the womb of Menaka, her future mother. She gave up the body she had received from Daksha and immediately transferred herself to another better body. But this does not mean that she got a spiritual body because her seva is in the material world. And then it's 9:30, so we'll stop. We'll continue from verse 28, Krishna willing, next week. So, Sati Devi, we are ending on or pausing the katha on a happy note that Sati Devi quit her body that came from Daksha but got a better, superior body so that she can continue to serve Lord Shiva as Shrimati Parvati Devi. So, we'll stop here. Grantharaj Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees. Are there any question? Ramchandra Prabhu, very happy to see you. आपका बैकग्राउंड बड़ा अच्छा है. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So if there are no more questions, we'll stop here. Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All of you say Hari Bol to me, so I feel very happy. Jai Jai.
Hare Krishna
Hari
Prabhu.
Bol.
Hare Krishna
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Jai